Listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up! Buckle up!
All right, good morning. Here we are.
Let's do it. Hey. Hey. With the facts. Sing along, everybody. Come on.
Good morning.
I'm clearly more into the theme than you.
And to all who inhabit it, this is Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Mike and Josh exclusively here on the Grid Network. It's great to have you here on this beautiful Tuesday morning. I shouldn't say it's beautiful. It's raining over here in New York. As I'm sure in Los Angeles, you guys see a ton of rain, right?
I mean, we have. It is thankfully, cleared up a little bit, but the wind has been beating us up the last few days, and that is not good for my allergies.
No.
So I'm hanging in there, but Mike, right off the bat, I feel like I need to talk with you because I feel like I let you down, and I know you don't know why, but last week, as we wrapped up our show and we're getting ready for delicious Thanksgiving, we were talking about the amount of plates that we would fill then fill our bellies.
Yeah.
On the day that we give thanks to delicious food. And in the middle of plate number 2, I was just like, I don't know if I can continue.
No.
I toughed it out. I did my Michael Jordan flu game and finished plate 2, but then just could not move and could not go any further. And I feel like, that was just, half of what you were expecting me to accomplish. So I apologize to you. I apologize to all my supporters that, were rooting me on. I apologize to everyone who took the over of 3.5 plates.
That's true.
And
that's a tough over.
I gotta get back in the lab, get back to practice, and I'm gonna try to do better.
Have you signed up for the Joey Chestnut camp of eating?
There should be one. There should be one, and I will sign up for that.
Yeah, that's what we would.
Because he's at least still skinny.
That's a fat camp in a different sense of the word,
right? Because he's not fat.
No, he's not. He's in incredible shape. Have you seen that whole thing on Joey Chestnut? That's unbelievable. No, listen, Josh, you didn't let me down. I let myself down a bit because I too became a little underwhelmed. I got through about 2.5 plates before I had to call it quits. It's just, it gets tough, man. However, it is the Tuesday after Thanksgiving, and I am fresh out of leftovers. So they're gone. I have got nothing left. Maybe like a hint of gravy or something like that is still in my fridge. But that's about all I've got. Stuffing gone, potatoes gone, turkey's gone, mac and cheese is gone. Like all of it is just kaput. So Patrick Brown, good morning, fellas. Hope you had a great Thanksgiving break. How about them Cowboys? Those sorry, foul-mouthed, vile fans deserved it. We
were 3 minutes and 40 seconds into the show, and we already got Cowboys.
At least I didn't bring it up.
You didn't bring it up.
I didn't bring it up.
Come on now.
Seeing the Eagles fans boo their beloved sad birds on Friday, loved every minute of it, and so did I, Patrick. It was a very fun week for Cowboy fans, I will say.
We'll
probably talk about that a
very
little bit
fun,
later.
crazy week for football.
It was a very nice, fun, crazy week for football. We've got plenty of stuff to go over today. Outside of the recap of Thanksgiving, which is clearly the most important topic. Listen, we're at a point now, Josh, where we're like, it feels like 90% of the NFL is still in the playoff hunt, and we're in this is week 14 now that we're
heading into week 14.
Heading into week 14. And we've got a lot of teams with a legitimate shot to make the playoffs. So I figured we'd make it a little bit fun, right? Like 20 minutes from now, we'll play a little bit of not buy or sell, but contender versus pretender of teams still vying for a playoff spot. Can those teams make a run and can they lock in a playoff spot? We'll talk about that in about 20 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The Carolina Panthers came away with a really nice
win. Carolina Panther.
Your Carolina Panthers, who you've been dying to talk about for like 2 weeks.
Honestly, since before the season, I have been tweeting out, "Don't sleep on the Panthers," and they are somehow making me feel like a genius right now.
Listen, man. They've certainly got something going right now. The Panthers, they're in second place in the NFC South right now. They're 7-6. Do they have a bye? They're on a bye this week.
They're going to be on their bye this week.
They're on their bye this week. But have they kind of figured it out? Has Bryce Young kind of figured it out? We'll talk about that a little bit later, about 40 minutes from now. But obviously the big topic today. Let's talk a little bit about Lane Kiffin and his migration now over to LSU. He heads over to LSU after LSU fires Brian Kelly, which Josh, admittedly, I mean, when LSU fired Ed Orgeron, right? And I thought for a good while, right? The 2019 LSU team is maybe the best college football team I've ever seen, right? Joe Burrow, where he threw 60 touchdown passes with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the backfield. And they had all those defensive studs, right? Patrick Queen and all, like, Derek Stingley. I mean, it was just a ridiculous LSU football team. There was a real shot, I thought, like, the LSU coaching job is not going to be talked about for a good long time because I thought Coach O was going to hold on to that for a while. And then stuff kind of fell off the rails a little bit with Ed Orgeron, where he was bringing girlfriends to practice and it got a little weird and all that. So no idea what he's up to now. But then they hire Brian Kelly, right? Brian Kelly leaves Notre Dame. He then goes to LSU. And admittedly, that never felt like a fit to me, right? It just never felt right. Lane Kiffin, I think a lot of people are looking at this and thinking, yeah, I mean, this kind of makes some sense. And he's had his ups and downs in his career. Spent a few years at Ole Miss, had some success at Florida Atlantic, was coordinator for a bunch of years. It seems like he's had a bit of an up and down career, but a lot of success in his career as well. Lane Kiffin to LSU, Josh, what are your first thoughts of this fit and LSU moving on from Brian Kelly?
Honestly, my thoughts with this are nothing in the description that you brought up. Like I get as far as, the coach, he will work out. And I think he fits their system better than Brian Kelly does and all that. That to me is not the story. Mm-hmm. To me, the story in all this is proof that college football is broken. Mm. And what I mean by that is Ole Miss is going to be in the 12-team playoff. Yeah. They have a good enough record, their best record, I think, in school history to now get into this 12-team playoff.
Yep.
But the way NCAA works with their transfer portals and coaching vacancies, they don't care if some teams are still playing. They will welcome them to leave a team at any point.
Yeah.
And now you have Lane Kiffin. And, so many people are angry at Lane Kiffin for leaving Ole Miss in this position. I don't blame Lane Kiffin for doing something that is just being allowed in college football. But he is now leaving a team that he has led and developed to get to the playoffs. So before the season ends, he is telling them, you're no longer good enough for me because I'm getting this offer at LSU.
Yeah.
And what does that also mean? That also means, hey, other coaches that I might want to bring along, come on, join me. And that also means, hey, some of you players at Ole Miss, you want a bigger spotlight at LSU, you can transfer now.
Yeah.
And that then destroys, obviously, this team. And it's not just Ole Miss is in the spotlight right now based on their situation, because this is obviously something that's been going on for a couple of years.
Yeah, right. It's all been a trend, yeah.
And it destroys loyalty. And I not mean, oh, you have to stay at your school all 4 years and stuff, but I mean, even, just like fans that are loyal to the school and loyal to that program and loyal to that team.
Right.
Well, now all of a sudden, hey, team does well, poof, everyone's gone before the season even ends. It's not like they're declaring for the draft.
Right.
And if a team does poorly, then everyone's just like, oh, who can we steal? What can we do now before the season's officially done?
Mm-hmm.
And it's just getting to the point now where the next step in college football is to have midseason trades, because that's the pace that we're going on, allowing the players to transfer before the season end, allowing coaches to leave jobs and take other jobs before the season end. I mean, if we were to say hypothetically, obviously this is not happening, but if we were to say in the NFL that Sean Payton abruptly resigned from the Denver Broncos and that coaching spot is open, and Mike Shanahan, the coach of the 49ers, whose father led the Denver Broncos to a Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden he goes, hey, you know what? I want that job, and I'm leaving for it today. That can't happen in the NFL.
Yeah.
It can't happen in any league.
Right.
But for some reason, we allow it in college sports.
Well, because I think the proverbial train has, I'll use this term again, fallen off the rails in college sports.
Yeah.
Like I genuinely feel like ever since NIL, and I don't know if there's a direct correlation or not, because I agree with you. I think it's a little ridiculous. I think that there are, for the lack of a better term, zero fucks given in college football anymore. I genuinely mean that.
I know.
Right? Like,
I'm laughing because it's accurate.
Because like this is the way ever since players in college football have been treated like professionals, right? Ever since the whole, like, we can make money now shtick. It's become, well, college football's then just become a big free-for-all, right? Like the transfer portal, you have transfer portals that are larger than actual recruiting classes. Like it is, and I know that that's an exaggeration, but it feels like that's true. Where, like if you're Kalen DeBoer at Alabama, like you don't have to really recruit as much anymore, because you just go get that 2-year transfer from Miami and bring him over. Like it is that kind of deal. Lane Kiffin did Ole Miss a little dirty. Certainly. I don't blame Lane Kiffin one bit for taking the job at LSU, because I think as far as the lore of college football, LSU is a more attractive job to have, right? And that's
absolutely,
I think, sort of the positive and the negative that tie together with college football, that there are just some programs that are just not going to catch up, right? Like you're always going to have the LSUs, the Alabamas, the Clemsons, all those.
And with this system, the way it is right now, they will never catch up.
Right, exactly.
Because they can lure them in, they get more NIL money, and it's not going to be feasibly possible for a team like Ole Miss, in this example, to maintain being a playoff caliber team.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty much, your LSUs, your Alabamas, your Ohio States, your Texas, obviously like the big schools with, a couple others sprinkled in, your Oregons, and And then there are going to be those one or two teams. They're Ole Miss, your Boise States, that all of a sudden like, ooh, look at us. Hey, we're doing something. And everyone's gone.
Yeah. Well, and listen, that's the harsh truth about college football right now, too, is that, so I'll tell you a little story. Before the grid started, I covered Texas Tech for Heartland. That was one of my previous gigs before me and Barry started the grid. And Texas Tech fans, the loyal Texas Tech fans, used to hate me, literally hate my guts, because I would bash their alumni collective when it came to like them recruiting players, right? Like, I'm thinking to myself, like, look, Texas Tech is in the business of winning the Big 12, and that's all the business that they could possibly be in, is winning the Big 12, right? I was like, my year covering Texas Tech was right when they hired Joey McGuire, right? Like, it was right at the beginning of this era, right? Baron Morton was a freshman. Like, this is what, like, this is the kind of the time that I came in, and I'm thinking to myself, like, look, if you want to compete for like national recognition, the money that the collective is beginning to dish out just is not going to compare to the Alabamas, the Georgias. Like, you're just, and a lot of Texas Tech fans were just like, listen, like, we don't care. Like, our focus is on the Big 12. But they hated me for it because I was telling them the truth about what their limitations were. So I ended up calling their collective cute, which I guess was a little bit too offensive. But that's the harsh reality of college football, right? Like, I think Bill Cowher's kind of been all over the media talking about this situation, which is interesting, right? Because, Bill Cowher is well known for his NFL coaching prowess, not necessarily his college expertise or anything of that nature. But it's interesting because he's just like, listen, if I'm the AD at Ole Miss, like, I'm not even giving Lane Kiffin the opportunity. Like, he said, I'm not even giving him the opportunity to stick around. Bye. If you're gonna leave, leave. Like, see ya. Don't talk to anybody. Don't, if you took the job, you're gone. Like, that's the end of the story.
And I agree with that. He should be gone if he wants to take the job. But he has already had conversations with players and other coaches about trying to join him.
Right.
You can't escape that. And the way the NIL is set up right now with this transfer portal, there will never be fairness in college football until they make, and it's not like they have to turn everything upside down. You start the transfer portal once the college football season officially ends. Step one, you let it wait 3 or 4 more weeks. Right. Fine. And then you fix all that issues. When it comes to, players with NIL money and trying to transfer and, this place outbids this one and this outbid, they need to get paid. I don't understand, the guarantee money type part in it. Yeah. To me, it's the type of thing where, hey, you're getting $20 million over 4 years. Okay, great. Oh, you transfer after 2 years? Fine. You get $10 million. You don't get all 20.
Right.
So, because they still need to get paid, but you just have to have some structure with this.
Yeah.
Just some.
Well,
there's none. Well, which makes it broken.
And what's crazy is that, like, all of the anti-NIL people that were arguing against this thing tooth and nail, right? Yeah. Have they listen? I've been back and forth on the issue ever since it was brought up, right? Because I totally understand where the players are coming from. I thought the NCAA restrictions have always been a little dumb, right? You can't buy a kid a candy bar and have it not be an NCAA violation. That I thought was ridiculous. But I also thought, well, like, I'm not sure taking away amateurism from the sport is necessarily like an automatic good thing. I've kind of been on both sides of the argument there. Have the anti-NIL people not been 100% right on what would happen to college football? Like, they've been literally like everything that they thought would happen to the sport once NIL became a thing has essentially taken place, or at least there's been evidence to show that it will, right? They've been right. Now, that doesn't mean it's a good or a bad thing, but everything that they've predicted has sort of come true. And that's, I think, something that gets lost in this conversation, Josh.
I agree with you. It's the type of thing where, where so many people were just like, no, players should not get paid. And it's like, well, no, you're wrong about that. They should get paid. But then they were like, but here's why they should not get paid. It's like, oh, well, those reasons are making more and more sense.
Right.
So what can we do to fix those while still letting the players get paid? Because the players should still get paid.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have to have certain restrictions. Change the date of the transfer portal. Some type of salary cap, you know, in NIL money.
There has to be some sort of regulation.
We know it's never going to happen.
Right. No, it's not. It's not. But there needs to be some sort of regulation. I 100% agree with you. So does this just, because like you said, it happens in other, like it happened with Deion Sanders, right? Like Deion Sanders, and this is in a much smaller, I guess less significant case, right? When he left for Colorado, I mean, half of his roster was Jackson State, right?
Yes.
So this happens in college football. It is not just Lane Kiffin.
Right.
But here's the other question about this. And then we can move on. Like, does this just leave Ole Miss in shambles? Like, does Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss into a point of like, all right, well, now we just got to completely rebuild again. Like everything that we worked for of building up this program, everything that Lane Kiffin did for us in the 6 years that he was here is now just down the tubes. Like, is this just a square one we have to start over sort of basis for Ole Miss?
Unless they win the championship, yes, it is.
It's crazy.
They got to just start all over. Unless they miraculously now, the players stay loyal for at least the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And they're just like, you know what? We are going to show that we did this together as a team. It wasn't just because of the coach. And miraculously find a way to win the championship, which will then have, a movie made after that, that story that will, that would have, like somehow Zac Efron will play Lane Kiffin or something like that. And from doing that, then obviously it brings prestige to Ole Miss. Naturally, if you win a championship, it'll make players want to go there. It'll make high-end coaches want to coach there. And then they could, not rebuild, but retool.
Yeah.
Aside from that, yes, they're absolutely back at square one, and they're going to be just one of the other SEC teams next year.
Yep. We'll see how that goes. Let's dip into the comments section before we go to break. Patrick, throwing the question out there, with Mike being a Gators fan, along with our guy Tim, that's Tim Barnard of the Boston Sports Summit, diehard Florida Gator fan. He went to Florida and all of that, so that makes a whole lot of sense. Is John Summerall the right guy for short-term success? Do you see him turning the program around? My answer to that question, my quick answer to that question is I don't know, Patrick, because I'd be lying if I said I knew everything there was to know about Tulane and Troy football over the last 4 years. It seems like could be a fresh voice. I don't know. That honestly, that's how I come to feel about this. I'd be interested to see how Tim feels about it. Tim also says fire Scott Strickland. That bum is a sleazeball and it's ruined Florida football. # vote Tim for UFAD. I would vote for Tim to become the new athletic director of Florida. I would. I think he would do wonders.
Will he make adjustments to the transfer portal?
Yeah, Tim. That's really the question. Is this Does this
If you can adjust the transfer portal, you will have my vote.
Yeah, he's in. He's in. I loved him. So listen, I might vote for him anyway. I really might be. He might just be like, I'll abolish the football program. I might vote for him anyway, just because I like him. Anyway, let's go to break. Coming up next, little contender versus pretender. Just feels like everybody in the NFL is in a playoff spot. We'll talk about who's in, who's out. That's coming up next.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
Like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not so bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
Crack 'em if you got 'em, son. Crack 'em if you got 'em, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em.
And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
you need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off, throw your score prediction in our live chat, and if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some Can Fan merch. Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez, because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
Well, thank you, Patrick. We're back here on Mike and Josh here exclusively on the Grid Network. That's Josh Tariff. I'm Mike Guido. I'm sure you saw this yesterday, Josh. I'm just scrolling past it on Twitter, and I thought it was hilarious that Younghoe Koo essentially chunked a field goal like I chunked my 9-iron on a short par 3.
Younghoe Koo on the football field look like how I look on the dance floor last night.
Yeah, it's true.
And the fact that so many analysts and former football players all at the same time then said, I don't think I've ever seen this before.
Yeah, right. It's so something that you just never anticipate to actually happen. And his cleat got he really dug in there.
Yeah.
He caught 6 inches of turf. That was not he hit it a little bit before the ball. I'm telling you, that was that was maybe that needs to be voted the most relatable field goal kick of all time in NFL history, of just full-blown chunking it.
And could there have been any other team that kick made more sense to happen to
than the New York Giants?
Maybe
the only other one that I can think of would be the New York Jets. So that says something. I think that's like a real stat too, by the way. I think I saw didn't you bring it up last week, where it's just like the two, like since in the last decade or something like that, the two teams in the NFL with the worst record over the last 10 years were the Giants and the Jets. Wasn't that the stat?
I did not bring that up, but that sounds accurate.
It's I thought it was. I forget where I heard it. I thought maybe it was you, but I guess it wasn't.
Well, thank you for giving me credit for a unique stat, but I'm not that smart. But
you're not. No, you're plenty smart. You're plenty smart, Josh, and good looking, might I say?
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
I'm glad I only had 2 plates then at Thanksgiving, so I didn't lose the figure.
No, you're not. You're not glad you only had.
You're
2
right.
plates.
I still feel like I let you down.
Yeah. Okay. Let's play a little contender versus pretender with teams in the NFL still in the playoff hunt. Now, here's how we want to frame this, Josh. Let's do, because not all of these teams are obviously going to be Super Bowl contenders per se.
Sure.
But are they teams that can go to the playoffs and maybe make a run, right? So that's going to be our form of this. Let's see. The first team I want to bring up is, let's start with this one. How about the Houston Texans? They're 7-5. They are the first team right now outside of the AFC playoff picture. What do you think? Contender or pretender, Josh, the Houston Texans?
I think the Houston Texans are a contender.
Really?
And I know, I think it was my first appearance on the Carving It Up podcast with our buddy Bryson, where I said that early in the season that Houston was one of, if not the biggest disappointment in the NFL.
Yeah.
And they have clearly turned it around. They got the top defense in the NFL. Yeah. CJ Stroud is pulling it together. I mean, he does not need to be an elite quarterback to lead the team. They've won 4 in a row. And when you look at their remaining schedule, it overall looks pretty favorable for them. I think Houston ends up being, a 10-win team and finds their way in.
Yeah, they absolutely could. They're at the Chiefs. They have back-to-back home games against the Cardinals and the Raiders, which are 2 very, very winnable games.
Yeah.
And then they go on the road to the Chargers, and then they close the season at home against the Colts, which that game between the Texans and the Colts to close the season could decide the division. Like, that could very easily be a situation where that
absolutely
comes into place. Let's talk about the Colts. Let's talk about the Colts next. Indianapolis Colts, contender or pretender, Josh?
3 to 4 weeks ago, we were talking about that they were the best team in the NFL.
Then they traded for the
playoffs entirely. The Colts are pretenders, and
wow.
it's just because of bad timing. Daniel Jones is hurt. Obviously that is taking an effect on them. That loss to the Chiefs just tore them apart mentally.
Yeah. Took the win.
And then we talked about Houston's schedule. Well, now you look at Indy's remaining schedule. Jacksonville, Seattle, San Francisco, Jacksonville, Houston.
Yeah.
All 5 games against teams over 500. The Colts are falling, and they're falling fast. And now, when we broke the news of the Sauce Gardner trade, we were just like, oh my God, the Colts are in this for real. He gets hurt. Now they start falling apart a little bit. And all of a sudden, these picks that the Jets got in that trade get better and better.
Yeah, Right.
So, yeah, I think, and I don't know if you were going to bring up, Jacksonville in this game as well, but with that division, I am now convinced the Colts are going to be the odd team out.
Wow, you're convinced?
I'm convinced
team now.
based on how they're suddenly playing. They're stopping Jonathan Taylor now because Daniel Jones is beat up and hurt. And this schedule to end the season is absolutely brutal.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of thought that there was going to be a time where the Colts came back down to earth. And who would have thought that it was after the bye week that they had where everything just sort of shifted. I want to shift to the team that kind of, I'll say, catalyzed their sort of recent disappointment over the last couple of weeks. The Kansas City Chiefs. Now, listen, Josh, we said it last week, right? And you said it this past week, saying whoever lost the Chiefs Cowboy game on Thanksgiving, their season ended that night. The Chiefs were the loser of that game. Contender or pretender for the Kansas City Chiefs?
I'm sticking with it. They're absolutely a pretender because, with the Chargers and Broncos both winning as well, that just puts them further in the cellar. And it's interesting because this is one of Mahomes' better seasons, stats-wise. He's been fantastic.
Yep.
The question is everybody else. And with them, again, because, again, when we got to be looking at everyone's schedules. They play Houston Sunday night. They have Denver on a Thursday off a short week. And they do have the Chargers again as well in those games. Maybe they pull off one win out of those three.
Right.
And then Titans and Raiders, they'll beat them. But 9 wins will not make the playoffs in the AFC.
Yeah.
So the Chiefs' run, at least the streak of their run, is officially over.
Yeah, I agree. The Chiefs just simply look different. Like they just aren't as explosive as they used to be. Patrick Mahomes looks human. He's actually making in-game mistakes. They're getting older, it feels like. I'm with you. I think the Chiefs are a pretender here this year. There are just better teams.
Yeah.
In the AFC. This is where they are. The Chiefs are a middle of the road sort of team. Now, I want to close the AFC side of this with two teams. This is sort of two-pronged now. I want to talk about the Ravens and the Steelers kind of together here.
Okay.
Ravens right now have the tiebreaker in the division, right? They're 6-6. Steelers are 6-6. The Steelers just took a loss to the Bills. So that kind of dropped them back. Contender or pretender, Josh, for the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Neither.
Okay.
The Cincinnati Bengals are somehow going to win that division.
Joey
and it makes no sense. But all of a sudden, Pittsburgh is getting beat up and hurt and have become a shell of themselves. Baltimore has forgotten how to play offense somehow with the two of the arguably best playmakers in the NFL. And then all of a sudden the Bengals have a healthy Joe Burrow. You still got Jamar Chase. T. Higgins will be back. And the Bengals, while they are at Buffalo next week, the rest of their season, Baltimore, Miami, Arizona, Cleveland. And this is almost every year we feel like there's a division where a team is at best 9-8 and gets a home field advantage game in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And it might happen with Cincinnati with a record of 8-9. The way it's going, because again, Pittsburgh and Baltimore, while they're both ahead, they are falling fast.
Yeah.
Both of them. I mean, Yeah, the consensus is Baltimore will more than likely win the division, but I mean, I'd be licking my chops if I get a chance to play a real in Baltimore in the playoffs, because Cincinnati, I mean, you saw how they looked on Thanksgiving. Well, we were, it wasn't the tryptophan that was blinding us. It was a combination of, hey, Joe Burrow makes that huge of a difference on this team to all of a sudden make it seem like, oh no, we don't need to fire Zach Taylor.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, the thing that hurts the Bengals, obviously, is they have the worst defense in the NFL. Like, without question.
That's not the best thing to have. You're right.
No, you're right. It's also a lot of ground to make up. Now, the Bengals, if you look at their schedule, could run the table, right? They're at Buffalo this coming week. But once they get past that, you're right? You're home against the Ravens, you're at Miami, then you're home for 2 straight against the Cardinals and the Browns. Like, those are very winnable football games. Very, very winnable football games, especially with Joe Burrow healthy. If I were to be safe about this, I think the Pittsburgh Steelers are probably the safest bet to win the division, right? I just think they have the least amount of issues right now. Now, that doesn't mean I think they're particularly good, but I don't have faith in Baltimore at all right now. Literally at all.
I don't know if you heard this stat. Dan Orlovsky tweeted this out last night after the Monday Night Football game about the Steelers, where the Steelers lead the league in most snaps where their defense has been on the field, and also lead the league in least amount of snaps their offense has been on the field.
Yeah.
And the difference is roughly like 2.5 games worth.
Wow.
It's an astronomical difference between the offense and defense. So it's just like the defenses will naturally be getting more and more tired. And again, the offense, we already touched on how they're beat up. Who's going to be their quarterback? Aaron Rodgers has a different injury every week.
Yeah.
And looking at their schedule, they get the Ravens twice, where obviously they're both playing for the same thing. You got the Lions in the mix of that. They'll be at Detroit, where they're playing for their playoff lives, which I'm sure they're going to be an NFC topic that you're going to bring up.
Yep.
And so they're the safe pick because of their track record of always being over 500.
Right. But that might be all it takes.
It's true.
You know what I mean? Like, in that division, that might be all it takes. Like, and listen, the Bengals are an interesting conversation just because, like, they're 4-8 right now.
Yeah.
If they run the table, they're 9-8, and that could be enough. But I don't know.
Can we give Joe Burrow MVP for playing just 8 games in the season if he was able to run the table and bring him to win the division?
Well, listen, that ties back to whether or not you think MVP actually means MVP, right? So, all right, so let's move to the NFC side of this. We just brought it up, right? The Detroit Lions, contender or pretender right now, being third in their division behind the Packers and the Bears. What do you think?
They're sadly pretenders at this point. And part of it, they're beat up. Their offensive line is hurt. Their top receiver is hurt. Their secondary is hurt. And their next 2 games are against the 2 best offenses in the NFC, in the Cowboys and Rams. So, and they finished their season at Chicago, where that's a whole nother topic to just discuss, with the number 1 seed in the NFC, Chicago Bears. That was on no one's bingo card in 2025.
Yeah.
And so at this point, the Lions are sellers. They've fallen off. They just can't compete with this division this year.
Yeah. I think I agree. And it's crazy to say that because, I think the Lions could probably go down as the best team in the league that doesn't make the playoffs. They are.
Oh, sure.
They are I still think the Lions are such a good football team. I really do. But their injuries have just caught them at the wrong time. I mean, you heard the report that came out after the Thanksgiving game. Amon-Ra St. Brown might be out for 3 weeks. Like, that's such a bad injury for them to suffer. And they don't have the depth at wide receiver to withstand that, right? Like, Jameson Williams is a solid wide receiver. Outside of that, you're looking at what? Isaac Tesla and
right, because Sam Laporta has also been out.
Right, exactly. So, like, how many weapons now do you have on offense outside of Gibbs? Like, that might be a real issue for the Lions. I think it's unfortunate that way too. But I agree. I think they're pretenders as well. Listen, you knew it was coming. You knew it was coming, Josh.
What might be coming? What are you?
You knew it was coming.
What are you questioning? Huh?
The Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, I've heard of them.
Contenders or pretenders, winning 2 straight against the Eagles and the Chiefs. Now going to Detroit and playing the Lions, 6-5-1. Are the Cowboys contenders or pretenders?
So, our Cowboy podcast that we have on the Grid Network, because I know we have multiple of them and all are great. They should be mailing me gift baskets.
They should,
because I was on this show
for no other reason than just because.
Well, just because. However, I was on this very show where I said, hey, the Cowboys need to win 6 out of their last 7 games to make the playoffs. And since I said that, they've won 3 in a row.
Yeah.
And obviously they're in must-win mode every week. But now, playing the Lions on a short week when they're all beat up and Cowboys are firing on all cylinders, and then you got the Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, and Giants. That's at least 4 out of 5. That's potential of sneaking in that last playoff spot. It's going to be very difficult, though, because you are still dealing with whoever does not win between the Packers and Bears. And then you also got the Seahawks. Well, whoever doesn't win between the Rams, Seahawks, and 49ers.
Right.
Because realistically, all those teams I just listed are still overall better teams than the Cowboys. But no one wants to play the Cowboys right now, the way they're playing. So Schottenheimer has got them playing their best ball at the best possible time. They're so close on the edge of contender pretender of trying to sneak in that spot. They
might be the team that's closest to the line.
Yeah,
like,
I really think they are, because pending any more 49er injuries, because we know they've already had plenty. I just can't see the Cowboys overtaking one of those teams if everyone stays healthy right now. Listen, so I guess technically that means they are pretender, but just barely pretender.
So here's what I'll say. I think the Cowboys are, like you said, they are towing the line.
Yep.
I'm going to say they're a contender because I think their playoff chance might even be better by them winning the division. Like, I don't know that the Eagles are safe in that division. I really don't.
Currently, looking at the Eagles are 8-4, Cowboys 6-5-1.
Yeah.
So 1.5 game lead. It's nothing secure by any means.
No, and the thing is that the Eagles right now are just simply not playing very good football. Right?
They're not.
The Eagles are very pedestrian offensively. Their next game is a Monday night game in Los Angeles against the Chargers. That is not an easy game to win, especially if the Chargers are rolling.
Well, question will be whether or not Herbert's playing.
Right. Yeah, that's going to be a part of it too. So again, we'll see. I think the Cowboys, the way that they are playing right now, I think the Cowboys over the last 3 weeks are playing like one of the better teams in the NFL.
Oh, the last 3 weeks, they absolutely have been.
You could make the argument that in the last 3 weeks, they've been the best team in the NFL. But, listen, we had this conversation a number of weeks ago too, Josh, of is it just simply too little too late? Are they just catching heat, too late in the year where, they just simply can't catch up because the NFC is so stacked as far as teams in playoff position. You just, what do you do? You know what I mean?
Right.
They don't really control their own destiny. So, stuff needs to happen around them. I'm going to say they're contenders. I think they're too good right now to not be contenders, but I don't know. We'll see about them. Let's talk about the Carolina Panthers.
My boys.
And maybe we should do this one as sort of a dual sort of thing like we did in the AFC North, but the Carolina Panthers and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, contender or pretender, Josh?
Well, only one of them is making the playoffs.
Right.
And to me, it's going to be the Carolina Panthers. And you look at this season, obviously the tremendous upset that they did this past Sunday against the Rams.
Yeah.
They also have victories against the Red Hot Cowboys. They also have a victory against the Packers. So, when the big teams come to town, they're showing up.
Yeah.
And Bryce Young has been figuring it out. Now, again, not, in like top tier levels per se.
Yeah.
But he has had 4 games this season of at least 3 touchdowns, where his previous couple years he had a combined 2.
Yeah.
Their running game is on point. Their defense has gone. Yeah, Rico Dowdle saved my fantasy season. I don't know if I mentioned that in the show.
Saved a lot of people, yeah.
I was 1-3, or I was 1-3 before I picked up Rico Dowdle, and I did just lose this week, but that now made me 8-5. But I'm in the playoff hunt still.
You're right there.
So
just like everybody else, you're in the playoff hunt.
Yeah. Thank you, Rico Dowdle. I appreciate. Yeah, I'm in the playoff hunt just like everyone in the NFL right now.
That's true. Yeah,
so,
I think Carolina looks really good for the playoffs. I really do. Because Tampa Bay's hurt. Baker Mayfield is not playing all that well over the last couple of weeks. I think Carolina, the door is wide open for the Panthers to win this division. They really are. I mean, look at what they've got for the rest of their schedule. They're on a bye this week. They have to play the Buccaneers twice. So those 2 games against the Bucs could very easily decide the division. But their first game off the bye is at New Orleans. You can assume that's probably a win. And then they play at home against Seattle, in between their 2 games against the Bucs. I don't know. I think this is a team that's pretty well positioned to potentially go in and sneak into the playoffs. So I don't know. We'll see. Tampa Bay, there's going to be pressure on the Buccaneers to take advantage of the games that they have left, right? They get the Panthers. They get the Panthers twice. They also play the Saints this coming week. And then they get the Falcons and they have the Dolphins. So, I mean, they're in a position where, if they can take advantage, they can still be in that hunt for a playoff spot as well. But it's going to come down to that week 18. That's going to be the flex game. That's going to be that last Sunday night game of the season, Panthers and Buccaneers for the NFC South. Yeah.
And not only that, I think that last game could also determine the offensive rookie of the year between Egbuka and McMillan, because they've been neck and neck as well.
Yeah, right.
So I I think it's tremendous, this turnaround that has happened in Carolina. I think it's great for that fan base because let's be honest, these last several years, you know, they've with like ownership and things like that, they were almost at like Dallas Maverick level of hatred that they had towards their franchise.
Yep.
So they've been pulling it together. Bryce Young's been figuring it out. They're well coached. They're continuing to develop. And now with these wins, especially this win against the Rams, you did the one thing you don't want to do to a young team, and that's give them confidence.
Yep.
This team now knows that and feels we can be a legit contender, not just win the division. We can compete with anybody. We've beaten the Packers. We've beaten the Cowboys. We now just beat the league best Rams. Matt Stafford, who does not turn the ball over, we made him turn the ball over 3 times.
Yeah, right. That was impressive. The Panthers owned that game.
They did. I mean, the score obviously reflected, it was a nail biter to the end. It felt like the Panthers were controlling most of that game.
Yeah, which is not something we're used to seeing.
Yeah, and so I am on board with Carolina winning that division. And for all we know, you could certainly you could have Carolina, Dallas. Well, no, Dallas would probably be facing a higher seed. So that would probably be like a Carolina Green Bay type first round matchup.
Yeah.
Which would be very interesting to watch.
That'd be fun. Yeah. That would be very, very fun. Last contender versus pretender here. We're lumping in the NFC West. The Rams, the Seahawks, 49ers. Contender versus pretender, Josh. Who do you believe in? Who don't?
All the above. They're all in.
They're all in. Wow.
All of them are in. And that's why, that's why I'm so on the fence with the Cowboys. Because to me, the one that might fall out would be the Niners.
Yeah.
Just because, again, they've had so many injuries. So if the Cowboys can somehow overtake them. But I mean, right now, they're 9-4 as the 7 seed, which is absurd.
It's unbelievable.
So they all have been showing, that they are contenders, and again, you look at their the Niners' next 2 games, Titans and the beat up Colts, but then they finish with Bears and Seahawks.
I think they're a 10-win team.
You only win 1 of their last 4.
I think if you're asking me today, what I think would happen, they're going to bye this week. They'll beat the Titans at home, and then they lose the next 3.
Wow.
I think they lose. They go to Indianapolis, which I do think matters. They go to Indianapolis, then you're home against the NFC leading Chicago Bears, which is beyond me.
Yep.
But home against the Bears and then home against Seattle, Seattle is still going to be playing for something.
Yep.
That week.
I mean, Seattle might be playing for the NFC West.
Right. I think the Niners I really think the Niners are vulnerable. I really do. Like, they've had a messy quarterback room all year long, right? It is by some miracle that Christian McCaffrey is still healthy.
How is the only guy that's been healthy for the Niners all season been Christian McCaffrey?
It's beyond. Isn't that crazy? It is just so sick. So I don't know. I think the Niners are vulnerable. I really think they're vulnerable. That end of the schedule is not easy because you're, again, like, by that point, like, all of those teams are not, like, they're going to be playing for something at the end of the year, right? Especially Indianapolis. And you're getting the Colts in Indy. Like, that's not an easy game. So I think that the Niners to me are in a tough spot. Seattle, I think is, like, I just think they're a very good team. I think
they
really
really are.
They're gonna beat Atlanta this week. They're home against the Colts. I kind of feel good about that. Again, like, I'm not ready to give up on the Colts yet. Rams at Carolina at Niners. I mean, their schedule isn't easy either, but I don't know. I just think Seattle's a better football team. I do. I think the Seahawks.
No, I agree that Seattle's a better football team than the 49ers. I think, again, like we mentioned a few minutes ago with the Cowboys, I think it was too little too late. I just think it's too much ground to catch up on. And the Niners, even if they were to lose, those last 2 games, I think they still fall into the playoffs as that 7 seed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, it wouldn't even be guaranteed to be the Cowboys to jump into that last playoff spot if that were to happen. I mean, Detroit is still very much in the picture.
It's still possible for Detroit. Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So I don't know. We'll see. And I feel pretty confidently about the Rams. Like, I think the Rams are very
Rams
they're well put together.
Yeah.
The Rams are. I think the Rams. Like, I feel pretty comfortable saying the Rams are a legit Super Bowl contender. They're a very legit Super Bowl contender in my mind. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll jump into hour 2.
Wait, you never asked about the Tennessee Titans.
Oh, you're right.
Wait.
You're right. Are they a contender? Are they a contender or pretender for the number 1 overall pick in the 2026 NFL draft?
Oh, they're the favorite. They are.
They are. Yeah, they are. Which, honestly, if you're the Titans, lose every game this year, and they might not. They just, this might just happen. They don't even have to try. Lose every game the rest of the year, and get a haul for the number 1 overall pick. You don't need a quarterback.
That's true.
Right? So just, throwing it out there. Unless they truly plan on giving up on Cam Ward after 1 year, which I wouldn't. But
no, he's been the only decent player on that team.
I know it is remarkable how bad their roster is.
Yeah.
Sorry, Titans fans, for catching strays here at the end of the first hour. Hour 2 coming up next. We'll talk about what, Carolina Panthers again? Oh boy!
Well, we already just brought them up. We talked about them. We can talk about how good the Patriots look.
We could definitely talk about that. Is New England right now the best team in the NFL? We'll talk about that next.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or a Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube talking the boys. So really, the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these 4 teams right here, or you're like me and you love all 4 of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all 4 of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins, and hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant. And you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't. Instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
Well, thank you, Patrick. Appreciate you for leading us in. Here in hour number 2 of Mike and Josh on the Grid Network. I'm Mike Guido. That's Josh Tariff. Hour number 1 was pretty fun, Josh. We finally got to play a game.
We played a game.
We played a game.
Wait, who won?
I think you did.
Sweet. Nice.
I'm 0-1 on games.
At this point, I'd like to announce my retirement from the Mike and Josh show because I'm retiring on top.
Yeah, well, that would mean you're the GOAT, Josh. That would mean you are the GOAT of Mike and Josh history, which is insane, by the way. It's really kind of crazy.
You'll always be my Scottie Pippen. Don't worry.
Listen, you mean I get to be Michael Jordan, the most overrated player of all time? Yeah.
No, I get to be Michael Jordan. You get to be Scottie Pippen.
Oh, that's right. You get to be the most overrated player of all time. That's true.
You shut your mouth.
We'll have that discussion another day. Today is not the day to have the Michael Jordan debate. By the way, speaking of Michael Jordan, I watched the movie Air like last week.
Uh-huh.
It's, if you're not familiar, if you're a listener and you're not familiar, the movie Air, it's Matt Damon and Ben Affleck and Chris Tucker and Jason Bateman's in that movie as well. And it's very, very good. And as a non-Jordan fan, it's a very, very good story about Nike and how they came to sign Michael Jordan, the whole process. Matt Damon plays a very, very good Sonny Vaccaro. It's very, very good. I would recommend it to a lot of people. I had a lot of fun watching that movie, even though
very good movie. It's been a while since I've seen it. I could sit there and watch that again.
Yeah,
it was a good movie.
I also think the guy who actually designs the shoe is hysterical. I love him. I think he's great. But anywho, we've got plenty of stuff to go over in hour number 2. Let's discuss the New England Patriots for a minute, right? Because we didn't talk about them over the last segment because I think it'd be foolish to bring them up in the last segment. They're very clearly a contender right now. The question really becomes more of how good are they, right? They're 11-2 right now. They're the number 1 seed in the AFC, which I don't think anybody predicted, to start the year. They've won 10 straight.
You didn't have the Patriots and Broncos as the top 2 teams in the AFC at this point in the season? Come on.
Yeah.
That was
idiot. Moron.
Oh. And you call yourself a journalist.
I know. It's really sad. But Patriots now heading finally into their bye week. They've won 10 straight games. Their last loss coming against the Steelers in week 3 of this NFL year. They started out 1-2. They lost their first game against the Raiders.
Yeah.
And now they're 11-2. Like, it is beyond what anybody could have imagined. Drake May has been a sensation for this Patriots team. I mean, Josh, let's just, call it like it is out front. Are the New England Patriots the best team in the NFL?
Right now, yes. Right now, they are, even though the Rams lost this past Sunday, the Patriots and Rams are neck and neck as the most complete teams in the NFL. And, with the Patriots, obviously you got MVP worthy quarterback. You got what's now kind of turned into a dual threat and running back with Ramondre Stevenson and Trayvon Henderson. Because Henderson finally getting the chance when Stevenson was out for a few weeks and showed what he can do. And now they've kind of gelled the two together. The receiving core for the Patriots.
Yeah.
Hunter Henry was kind of given up on with the Chargers, and he's become Mr. Reliable for Drake May. You bring in Stephon Diggs, who you're thinking, he's going to be your, clear-cut number one receiver, and he's had a couple games that have shown that. But otherwise, he's just a veteran presence to help guys like Booty and Demario Douglas, start becoming themselves.
Right. Your
defense and special teams, you had a punt return touchdown. Was a punt return?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that is being on top. And then, of course, you got the guy who will most likely win Coach of the Year leading the way in Mike Vrabel, who, again, was left and considered worthless by Tennessee and shows up in New England.
That was a stupid firing.
It was an awful firing. And so they're putting all the pieces together where so many people thought, okay, this team, we're going to start to see glimpses this year. And they'll, fight in some games, maybe get a couple upsets, and maybe get close to being a 500 team. All of a sudden, they're like 3 years ahead of schedule. And they're, like you said, 11-2, going on the bye. They come back from their bye week at home against Buffalo, who are going to be in must-win. Then at Baltimore, who are going to be must-win. And then you finish the season against the Jets and the Dolphins, where by then they're probably going to be resting their starters.
Right.
So the question is going to come down to, and why I'm comparing them neck and neck with the Rams, is because the players on the Rams have the big game experience.
Right.
In playoffs. Aside from really Stephon Diggs, Patriots don't.
Right.
So how will it transcend this season for the Patriots? Because just getting this experience alone, even if it's only, even if they got a bye but got knocked down in round 2, I'm not saying they will, but let's say that happens. Well, now you're already ahead of schedule, and now you got that playoff atmosphere experience. So now going into the following season, you're going to be even more unstoppable.
Yeah.
So they are legit. They should be a strong favorite for Super Bowl contender at this point.
Yeah.
Even though I heard, as of yesterday, so it wasn't counting the Monday night game in this, but DraftKings, when you looked at Super Bowl favorites, the top 3 picks were all NFC.
Really?
As of yesterday. So not counting, last night's game. I'm sure it adjusted now, but I will try to look it up while you bring up your point on why you agree with everything I've just said about the Patriots being unstoppable.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. I actually just looked it up on just their player stats page. Stephon Diggs is their leading receiver by a really big margin as far as catches. He's got 64 catches. The next best wide receiver, this is excluding Hunter Henry, the next best wide receiver is Mac Hollins at 35. It is a very wide gap as far as that's concerned. Now, Keyshawn Booty has been their leading touchdown threat. He's got 6 touchdowns on the year. But they certainly have gotten a lot of production out of that receiving core. Drake May makes a lot of people angry. I think, because they feel that, the Patriots have been spoiled by good quarterback play over the last, 30 years maybe. And you've got teams like, the Titans and the Bears and the Browns, and they just can't seem to ever figure it out.
Yeah.
And the Patriots essentially go from Tom Brady, a couple years in between, Mac Jones, right?
Cam Newton.
Now Drake May, right? Cam Newton, there you go. To Drake May, who Drake May looks legitimately like a stud. So you've got a lot of people that are fairly upset with the Patriots' newfound success.
By the way, I got the odds in front of me right now, according to the DraftKings. Do you want to guess where they rank, or should I just start reading through some names on here?
Go ahead. All
right. According to DraftKings, the current Super Bowl favorite are the Rams, which, okay, that's fine. That makes sense. Second, the Seahawks. Third, the Packers. Fourth, the Bills.
Wow.
Tied for fifth, the Eagles and Patriots.
Wow.
Why are the Patriots the best team in football technically right now? I can understand if you don't want them to be the top favorite because, like we were talking about, the lack of playoff experience. But Rams are plus 450. Patriots, tied for fifth, are plus 1,000. So for those of you, not sure how the betting works, that would mean, if you were to bet $100 on the Patriots, you would then win $1,000. Whereas you bet 100 on the Rams, you win 450. So, I mean, the odds aren't astronomical because it's such a tight race, but Buffalo might not make the playoffs.
Yeah, right. They're not safe.
And they're fourth.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, that's bizarre. That's bizarre to me.
Yeah.
The Patriots are so well-rounded. Like, they're just so good on both sides of the ball.
And by the way, Chiefs are still plus 1,800. Don't ask me how.
That's a team that I think is likely to not make the playoffs.
Right.
Like, full-blown, like, them making the playoffs is actually full-blown unlikely rather than them being a somewhat favorite for the Super Bowl.
Here's the Chiefs are plus 1,800, while the Jaguars and Texans, both teams on pace to make the playoffs, are both plus 2,800.
There's value there.
There absolutely is some value there, and this is the Patrick Mahomes effect. The Chiefs aren't going to make the playoffs, but they're still more worthy of a Super Bowl bet than those. But I interrupted you. Please continue.
The Patriots right now, this is their bye week, so they're going to be on a bye, home against the Bills, back-to-back weeks on the road against the Ravens and the Jets, and then they close their season at home against Miami. I mean, 15-2, 14-3.
Well, I'm thinking 14-3 because, again, definitely the last game, maybe those last two games, they're going to rest players.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I know Denver is right with them, but can we confidently say that Patriots will get that first round bye?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I mean, Denver is certainly right there with them, but what does Denver have left?
Denver is 10-2 because they've already had their bye.
Right.
And then they got Raiders, Packers, Jaguars, Chiefs, Chargers. So
that's tough.
That is now Packers and Jaguars, they get both of them at home.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the issue is going to be, it actually, honestly, probably looks like that one seed is going to be determined on Christmas Day because Denver at Kansas City. So Denver could try to play a little spoiler to make sure that Denver doesn't get that bye.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, listen, man, I think here's the question. Does experience hurt the Patriots right now as far as making a deep playoff run? Like, is Drake May capable at this point in his career to make a deep playoff run and win those big games? Like, do you see that?
I can see the Patriots, and that's exactly why those odds are where they are, because they're questioning this very thing. Can he do it right now?
Right.
And it's really going to come down to who they end up getting, like for matchups, because, hey, you put this Patriots team right now, like if we just said the playoffs started today based on who the teams are in right now, and just assume the top teams advanced, in each round, that would mean the Patriots would get Baltimore and then Denver to get to the Super Bowl. If those are their two matchups, they are in the Super Bowl.
Wow,
I think there's no doubt in my mind.
You like them that much over Denver in that sort of matchup?
At home, again, well, you got youth versus youth there,
right?
It's going to come down to the coaching, where you might, in that case, honestly, give the slight advantage to Sean Payton since he's won a Super Bowl and Vrabel hasn't as a coach.
Yeah.
But then, skill-wise, the Patriots have better players on the field.
Yeah. Right.
So I still lean towards the Patriots in that matchup.
Mm-hmm.
If I were, it's crazy though, because if they somehow finds a way for New England to play Buffalo in the playoffs, I don't know how you bet against playoff Josh Allen.
Yeah, right. Well, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Is like, yeah, it does kind of depend on matchups, and I think the Patriots right now could be. I think they're the best team in the league right now, but for one weekend, right?
Any given Sunday,
the Buffalo Bills. I don't think very many teams in the NFL want to play Buffalo.
Oh, in the playoffs, absolutely not.
And especially like the big thing for the Bills has been they can't get past the Chiefs in the playoffs. They can't beat the Chiefs.
Yep.
They've beaten the Chiefs in the regular season. In the playoffs, they can't beat Kansas City. Kansas City's out of the picture.
Yep.
Does this mean that all Buffalo has to do is get in and then, like, their obstacle isn't there? What does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, and I don't think.
Well, the question is, will they get in?
Yeah,
because they're the 7th seed right now, a game ahead of Houston, who we talked about earlier is hot right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Buffalo will still get in, but they're, like seeds 5 through 8 are all 5, 6, and 7 all have records of 8 and 4, with Houston at 7 and 5. So one of those 4 teams, the Chargers, the Colts, the Bills, and the Texans, one of them, and the Jaguars for that matter, who are also 8 and 4, but technically lead the division, one of those teams is out.
Yeah.
As long as, like you said, as long as Buffalo is not that one team that's out, then it's tough to bet against them, just depending on whatever the matchup ends up being for the Patriots.
Right. Nobody wants to play them. Nobody wants to play them, I don't think. All right. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
What up, Cowboys Nation? We are Cowboys Can Fan.
Like Canadian fan. And we're big Dallas Cowboy fans. We live stream every Dallas Cowboys game with our unapologetic, intoxicated play-by-play and color commentary, and we guarantee you won't find anything like this anywhere else.
We do that in the ring together?
We told you not so bland was here to stay, baby.
And if you like to have a couple cold ones,
If you got him, son.
Crack 'em if you got 'em. And watch the Dallas Cowboys play football.
You need to join us 1 hour before the Cowboys kick off. Throw your score prediction in our live chat. And if you're right, guess what? We'll send you a shirt, some CanFan merch.
Click the link, check us out, and subscribe if you like what we do.
Oh, and remember, BYOB.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Bring your own boosh.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Bryson Carver, and I'm the host of the Carving It Up podcast right here on the Grid Network, as well as my own personal YouTube channel, Carving It Up with Bryson Carver. On my show, talk about a number of the biggest topics in the world of sports, as well as culture and entertainment, and I include special segments such as Bryson's Best 10, The Ball View, and one of my favorites, Carving Up the Context. I also like to invite special guests on the show to get different insights and perspectives on topics, and most importantly, I love to hear from you, the audience, in the chat below. So check out Carving It Up 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific time on YouTube, Facebook, X, and on Instagram. Check the show out anywhere you get your podcasts as well as on the YouTube channel. Appreciate you guys.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you, it makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports, mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
All right, we're back here on Mike and Josh here on the Grid Network, exclusively here on the Grid Network. That's Josh Tariff. I'm Mike Guido. It is great to have you back here on this, now on the East Coast, this Tuesday afternoon. Josh, we just talked about how good the Patriots were on the AFC side of things.
Yep.
One team that we really haven't mentioned today so far is the Chicago Bears.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Right now, the Bears have the number one seed in the NFC. Everybody believes in the Rams, right? And if you were to ask, I think the majority of people who the best team in the NFC is, I think a lot of people would still say it's the Rams, even though they lost this past weekend to Carolina. The Bears, winners of 5 straight, they hold the number one seed in the NFC. I mean, how much of a believer are we in Chicago to actually make a run at this thing? Because if you look at what's been, what their big draw is, right? Caleb Williams, obviously their quarterback. I mean, he's been passable, I suppose, this year, but nothing crazy special. What do we believe or do we not believe in the Chicago Bears?
So, first off, amazing that we're even having this discussion.
Yeah, I know.
Because heading into this season, everyone, myself included, I think I could speak for you in this as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're just like, the NFC North is loaded so much. Chicago will be better than they were last year, but still last in their division.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
And here we are, 13 weeks completed, and they are the number one team in the NFC with Caleb Williams as their quarterback and a brand new head coach.
Yeah.
And to your point, Caleb Williams has been fine. Currently this season, just over 2,700 yards, 17 touchdowns, 5 picks. He's on pace to surpass last season, where he had a little over 3,500 yards, 20 touchdowns, 6 picks. So he's showing improvement.
Yeah.
Their defense obviously has shown improvement. Where did this running game come from in Chicago?
Yeah.
Is a huge question.
That's the deal.
And with that, though, nobody believes that they're a legit threat in the NFC. And, you look at, their remaining schedule. They got the Packers twice and the Niners, and then they close out the season against the Lions. They do have the Browns in there, so we can give them that win. So the Bears, it's so interesting how they're in a similar position to the Patriots, yet we do not think they're remotely the same caliber type team as the Patriots.
Right. Yeah.
That's just what's so fascinating about football to me is number one seed in one time. Who can beat them? Number one seed on the other side. Oh, they don't stand a chance.
Yeah.
Like how is this a thing?
The Bears really do struggle on the defensive side of the football. 27th in total defense. They're 25th in scoring defense. They're actually fairly good on third down, but the name of the game for the Bears this season very, very clearly is they run the football incredibly well. They control the pace of the game, right? They control the clock on a lot of in a lot of their games as well. They're the second overall running offense in the NFL, right? DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai have been very, very good in their backfield, and that's been the catalyst of their offense, right? I mean, Caleb Williams this year, his quarterback rating is 88, which is nothing special. His completion percentage, he's completing about 58% of his throws, which is considered, very mediocre as far as efficiency is concerned. And we know Caleb Williams to be a guy who likes to take a lot of chances, right? He makes a lot of challenging throws. Like, that's the kind of player that Caleb Williams is, and it has its risk reward, but that also hasn't resulted in a whole lot of turnovers this year, which is pretty amazing. I think Ben Johnson deserves a lot of credit for that. It's funny how, you brought up that the Bears are in the same position here as the Patriots that we just finished talking about. And I still don't know that I think the Bears are better than Detroit. Like, I still am not convinced that the Bears are a better football team than either the Packers or the Lions.
Well, and here's exactly why you feel that. Here's exactly why you feel that way. They lost their first 2 games of the season to the Vikings and Lions. They were blown out by the Lions.
Blown out by Detroit, right?
Yeah. Their wins this season: Cowboys, who were not the Cowboys that they are today.
Right. Yeah.
Raiders, Commanders are all beat up. Saints, Bengals without Joe Burrow at the time. Giants, Vikings who have turned into a mess. Steelers who have turned into a mess. And an impressive win against Philly. They have had one impressive win out of their 9 games that they've won. That's why no one believes in them, because they happen to just get a real easy schedule up until now. Where, again, Packers, Browns, Packers, Niners, Lions.
So this is a team
if they were to win 3 of their last 5, if they win 3 of their last 5, I can understand an argument of thinking they are a legit contender. I don't think they can win 3 of these last 5 games.
Yeah. Right. Right. 2 against the Packers, like you said before. 2 against the Packers at San Francisco. They finished the season home against the Lions, and then they've got a game at home against the Browns mixed in there. as well.
Where I mean, we know the Browns offense can't do anything aside from run the ball because Judkins can run.
Right.
But we also know how good the Browns defense has been.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
and with that Bears offensive line, I mean, Caleb Williams could find himself on the ground a lot going against Myles Garrett. Like that could be a really bad matchup in that respect.
By the way, side note, and I want to, obviously get back with the Bears, but since we mentioned the Browns and their defense, how is no one talking about the fact that Myles Garrett is going to shatter the sack record this season?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
I mean, he's
what is he at now?
3 away from the record right now with 5 games to go, something like that. Because he's had multiple games where he's had several sacks.
Yeah.
Not just like a couple.
Yeah, he's had So he's had over the last few weeks, he's had a game. So
with 5 sacks, a game with 4
a game
sacks
against New England where they lost, where he had 5 sacks.
Yeah.
2 weeks later, he sacked Lamar Jackson 4 times. Even I can't even. It might have been Lamar Jackson, might not have been. It was
because he's got what, like 19 sacks on the season now.
He has 19 sacks on the year,
and the record I want to say was 22 and a half.
I think the record is 22. That's Michael Strahan, I believe.
Strahan. So he has 5 games to get 4 sacks, and the way he's done it, I think it's pretty cut and dry that. As abysmal as this Brown season has been, there is that shining light right there in Myles Garrett just sacking everyone. So he's going to get a couple. He might, for all we know, he might break that sack record in that game against the Bears.
Yeah, true. The opportunity is going to be there.
Yeah,
the opportunity is going to be there. So I don't know. We'll see about that. I think it's so interesting, the fact that Myles Garrett is essentially the Mike Trout of the NFL. He's just going to waste his entire career not seeing a playoff game. Just like, it makes me sad that we're not going to see it.
I mean, I like the comparison with Mike Trout. I think Myles Garrett, depending on whenever he wants to step away from football, could almost be in like the same sentence as a Barry Sanders.
Yeah.
Of just like, arguably the best of all time in that position and have no team accolades to show for it.
Yeah.
It's incredible what he's done. So Mike Trout is also a great comparison with him.
He has 121 and a half career sacks.
Is he 30 yet?
No.
I didn't think so.
He's turning 30 on December 29th.
So at the end of the season, he'll be 30.
The end of the season, he'll be 30.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, at least the Browns have that to look forward to end the season. But going back to the Bears. So with these matchups coming up, and again, with the Packers on their tail, if the Lions can find a way to turn it around, which again, I don't see likely, the Bears might be one of those teams at the bottom of the wild card, or they might be the number 1 seed and get a bye. Make it make sense.
Right. Yeah. I think the reality is that the Bears, I feel similarly about the Bears that I do about the Niners. Like, I think their season could be very, very vulnerable. I really and I'm sorry to all the Bears fans that we're just talking, obviously we're just talking shit about them now, but I mean, I just don't, if Caleb Williams is not super efficient and there's going to be a team out there that's going to, stint your run game. I mean, listen, they're 8th in scoring offense. They're 6th in total offense. They're the 2nd best running attack in the NFL. They're 15th in passing yards.
They're doing well. And the fact that Right. And they're in this conversation. We're talking about them right now. So I don't think we need to apologize to Bears fans because, hey, your team is doing pretty damn good right now.
Right.
So, props to you guys. The question is whether or not they can sustain it, because now you end the season with by far the most difficult stretch of your schedule.
Right. So what do you think, like, is this the Bears are in the playoffs, but we just don't think that they can make a run? Or is there a chance the Bears fall apart in the last few weeks?
I mean, at this point, just like how we mentioned with Dallas, I think the Bears are going to definitely be in the playoffs. The question is going to be whether or not they can hold on to the division over the Packers, because they're only a half game ahead of them. So what's going to happen in these next few games where they play the Packers 2 of the next 3 weeks, that will, really determine it. I mean, again, depending on where they get seated. So like if the season ended today, if we were to figuratively say that, and top teams advanced, well, then right now they would have the bye and then play in the second round against Tampa, which I could legitimately see Chicago winning that game.
Yeah.
Then they would play the winner of Rams and Eagles, and there's no way they're winning that.
Yep. I'm with you on that. I don't think they're there yet. Caleb just needs more time. I think there certainly is something with him. Like they certainly
and Ben Johnson is figuring it out with him.
Yeah, but I think it's just too soon for them. Like there's clear steps that need to be taken right now with Caleb Williams still. I just don't think that he's there yet. And it's not like he doesn't have the weapons to be successful, right? They're obviously killing it running the football. DJ Moore and Roma Dunze are 2 very nice wide receivers. They just drafted Colston Loveland the first round. He's kind of coming into his own now. Like they have the weapons, right? I think they can improve up front, keep him a little bit more protected, keep his pocket a little bit cleaner. But this is a team that needs work. You know what I mean? This is not a roster that is overwhelmingly flooded with talent on really either side of the football. Like I said, they've got weapons, but that offensive line needs work. This is a defense that needs a ton of help. Like I think there's, there's way more complete teams in the NFC. I mean, like I said, I think there's two teams in their own division that are more complete than they are. Right? Detroit and Green Bay are 2 very, very good football teams. And like I said, I'm not certain that I buy that the Bears are better than they are legitimately. So we'll see. I mean, listen, it'll validate what I think you and I both think, Josh, if the Bears lose to the Packers this weekend. They lose at Lambeau Field this weekend. I think that's when you're going to see a lot of the doubt rise up in sports media this coming week.
And if they win,
then it's going to be a total buy-in.
Right. And then everyone's like, oh, wait, the Bears are for real.
Right. So this is almost like a determination game for them.
Yeah.
If they beat the Packers at Lambeau Field, they're legit. If they lose, is it all a fluke?
When was the last time we had the 1 seed in the conference have what feels like a must-win game?
Isn't that nuts?
That's insane.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
And let me, because I know we're going to get ready to go to our last break soon here. But let me just start, because we've been, the theme today is talking about the pretenders, contenders, where teams are they as good as the rank is.
Right.
Today, right now, December 2nd at 9:43 a.m. Pacific time, because that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
Your Super Bowl matchup is what?
I would say as of today, probably Rams Patriots as of today. But I mean, again, a lot of the things that we just talked about play a lot of factors in that, right?
Yeah.
Especially on the AFC side. So,
oh yeah.
Can Drake May do it? that's really the big question. I think if you're just looking at, who the two best teams are on both sides and what I think, a matchup could look like if I'm playing that game, Rams Patriots makes a little bit of sense to me.
All right.
What about you?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, come on.
Oh, you wanted me to answer my own question? No.
Yes. You can't just throw it out there and say nothing.
Oh, but I wanted to. I mean, Rams Patriots makes a lot of sense. Again, if we're going by all right with teams with different experience and how we've seen them and how they've developed, I still and I predicted this one before the season started, where mathematically it's still possible. It's not a popular choice right now based on their records. I could still, in a weird way, see it be Green Bay and Buffalo.
Yeah.
It could still very well be that. The Rams and Patriots on paper is clearly the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah.
And again, when you look at the AFC, because again, NFC, you could pretty much pick any of these teams and it would make sense for them to be in the Super Bowl. AFC right now, as far as teams that would be in the playoffs today, is New England or Buffalo that would represent the AFC.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think in the AFC it's either New England or Buffalo right now. As crazy as that sounds, right? Because Buffalo's on the verge of not being in the playoffs.
Right.
It's wild. It really is. All right. Taking our last break. We'll close out the show next.
Cowboys Nation, what up? It's your boy EJ Savage over here at Boys in the Zone, where it's everything Cowboys related, from the latest news, off-season talk like training camp and draft analysis, and of course, during season game breakdowns and commentary. Would love to see you in the chat kicking it with myself and other members of Cowboys Nation, whether it be a guest that I myself bring in, or Cowboys fan forum videos where I bring you guys on, or even other chat members. We're always live on Twitter and YouTube talking the boys, so really the only thing left to say is, how about them Cowboys? See you there. Peace.
Hey, what's going on? My name is Tim Barnett, and welcome into the Boston Sports Summit. If you're a fan of any of these four teams right here, or you're like me and you love all four of them and you follow them religiously, you're a big fan, this is the show for you. The big thing with this is real commentary and authenticity. I'm going to tell you like it is. If we're great, then we're great. But if we suck, I'm going to tell you that we suck and we need to improve. I'm also not afraid to call out our ownership or front office for making bad decisions, just like I'm not afraid to call out our coaches or our players for screwing some things up or doing great. All right? Because that's what this show is all about. It's about authenticity. So listen, if you're a fan of any of these teams or you're a fan of all four of them, check me out, the Boston Sports Summit, every Wednesday, live at 7 p.m., and it's electric, all right? We're going to go into some great detail about the Sox, Patriots, Celtics, and even the Bruins, and hey, you might even get a guest appearance from my little puppy here. So, it's a great show. Don't forget to tune in every Wednesday, 7 p.m. You can also follow me on all socials, on Instagram, X, and YouTube, Boston Sports Summit. So check us out. It's a great show. It's a great time. Hope to see you there. God bless.
What's going on, y'all? It's Arthur Hurst from the Grid Network, letting y'all know to check out the Saturday morning tailgate starting at 10 Eastern every Saturday. Check us out on YouTube, X, Instagram, wherever you get your podcasts. Tune in for some humor, some great analytics between me, my boy Bryson, and Tim. Again, Saturday morning tailgate every Saturday at 10 Eastern on the Grid Network. See y'all there.
Alex Rodriguez is coming out with a documentary, and it goes into detail. Like, he's never talked about the steroid part of it and all the pressure. You will do a lot more desperate things to try to stay relevant, and you can see that he was straining to be this person that he wasn't, instead of just being the person that he always should have been. Just, I'm Alex Rodriguez because of imposter syndrome. He had to be somebody that he wasn't. Goes to the Yankees, gets another big fucking contract. I empathize with that, because when you're this great player and people are looking at you and they're looking through you. It makes you realize that maybe Alex doesn't matter. I have to be A-Rod.
Yo, this is Barry Grant Jr. I want to give a big shout out to Mike and Josh, and be on the lookout for more clips from All Even Podcast.
This is Patrick L. Brown, lead journalist here at the Grid Network, reminding you to make sure that you check out all of the latest articles over on the Grid's webpage under the blog section. There you will find the hottest takes in sports mixed in with some mental health articles as well. Dare to be different? Enter the Grid, your new leaders in digital media, sports, and entertainment. As I always say, stay tuned.
So, Josh, I just I found this. I guess Sonny Gray, who got traded from the Cardinals to the Red Sox this past last week during our show.
Right. Yep.
He had a very brief stint with the Yankees. Right, he was with the Yankees for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And in that press conference, he said he never wanted to go to New York, and that it feels good to be in a place where it's appropriate to hate the Yankees.
So he just today with his press conference with the Cardinals mentioned his past tenure with the Yankees, which was not his most recent because he was on Boston prior to this, correct?
No, he was, well, he was, you have it backwards. He was with St. Louis.
Oh, traded to Boston. I'm sorry.
Yes. So, but yes, he, I think he played for the Yankees in 2017 and then half of 2017
went to St. Louis.
and then in 2018, and then bounced around. I think, where did he go?
I'm just scratching my head because he's like, you have had this bottled up for how many years to say?
Yeah, he was in Cincinnati for 3 years. Then he spent 2 years in Minnesota, and then the last 2 years with the Cardinals in St. Louis.
So he briefly played for the Yankees, played for these other teams, but kept quiet. And now that he's in Boston, he's like, oh, by the way, I hated my time as a Yankee.
Yeah.
I mean,
so he's playing into the rivalry, I guess, right?
Yeah, he wants, and let's be honest about it. You know, a decent arm to have, but an older guy. His ERA isn't the best, but you know, it's not a bad arm to have there. So, what can I say to make sure the Boston faithful are okay with this move? I always hated the Yankees, and I'm glad I'm not playing for them anymore. Oh, okay. I mean, did he mention that it's wicked awesome to play there? I mean, that's all he was missing from this.
There you go.
Was he wearing a Bruins cap when he said it? Yeah. I mean,
yeah. Was he eating a Spucky roll while he was down in Southie?
Had a cup of clam chowder during the press conference? I mean, and this is coming from someone from Massachusetts. So
yeah, I mean, you are from Massachusetts.
I am.
So okay. So do you understand the Yankee hatred that comes from Boston? Obviously,
I've always found it fascinating because, like, a number of childhood friends of mine, you know, some were Red Sox fans and some were Yankee fans, but still in Massachusetts. My brother-in-law, diehard Yankee fan, so he's raised his kids as Yankee fans
in Massachusetts.
In Massachusetts.
Wow.
So it's very interesting because, you know, like if you live around the Boston area, oh, you can't be a Yankee fan. But anywhere else in Massachusetts or Connecticut, hey, you know, if you're rooting for the Yankees, oh, you know, we might trash talk when they play each other, but otherwise, it's kind of the norm.
Yeah, you're not getting
just
the street.
Big city Boston. You walk around with a Yankee cap, that's a mistake. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
there's a picture of me online. I'm a diehard Yankee fan. There is a picture of me on the internet somewhere of me wearing a Yankee hat. I'm sorry, not me wearing a Red Sox hat in Boston. I've been there with my wife several times. We went to a Red Sox game. I bought a hat. You know, the whole thing is full tourism, whatever. And, you know, I got a lot of shit from a lot of my buddies saying, listen, a Yankee fan, a true Yankee fan would never be caught dead in that hat.
Well, I was the best, and I know I'm going to butcher it a little bit, but like one of the best Sports Center commercials was, I think it was David Ortiz and Jorge Posada. I think it was, they were like in a meeting room and Ortiz was trying on a Yankee cap.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And the Red Sox mascot walked in. It was like, no, it's not what you think. It was just, you don't understand. In Massachusetts, people were furious at that commercial.
That's hilarious.
Because they're just like, why would they make David Ortiz do that for the commercial? How much money? I'm like, what?
Now you see how Poppy acts.
Yeah,
I mean, Poppy's on the baseball post-game shows with A-Rod and Jeter.
Yeah,
right. And you know, the whole. I mean, our buddy Bryson Carver loves to play it every time the Yankees lose any sort of game. He always does the Yankees lose when
Vlad
Ortiz oh, screw Vladdy, man. I'm so done with the Blue Jays. I am so done with the Blue Jays, those cocky sons of bitches. Seriously, man, I am like, let me tell you something. They waltzed around, Josh, like they were the ambassadors of baseball for the entire world. Why? Because you're in Canada and not technically the United States. So you're like the international baseball phenomenon. Like, get over yourself. Get over it. Bunch of dogs.
At least you're not holding any bitterness towards that playoff loss.
Forget about the play. We got waxed in the playoffs. Forget about the playoff loss. I just hated how they strutted around like their shit didn't stink. Like, it drove me insane. Congratulations, Vladdy. You had a great playoff run. Why don't you find a way to get the final 2 outs of the World Series? I don't know. That's me. Notice how I'm squeezing my minion now that I'm all worked up.
Yeah.
I need to slow down my heart rate. But
I mean, we only have a few minutes left in the show, and this is where we're going off.
Yeah, I know. This is where I'm.
You were
flying
calm,
off
cool,
the
and
rails
collected through the other hour and 55 minutes.
I was, man. Even during the game, and I'm very competitive when it comes to games. It really is.
It wasn't a real game. We were just saying pretenders or contenders.
Yeah,
a
but
game would involve us
So
keeping score.
now I'm going to act like Michael Jordan and be like, I took that personally.
Okay.
That you won. So now I have this vicious vendetta against you. Now that
I will just for you for this, and we can use this as a tease to make sure people tune in next week. I will set up a little game for you, which would involve a win or a loss for next week.
Nice. What we really need is like some sort of like Alex Trebek-ish moderator between us. That's what we really need for 1 week.
Who has Ken Jennings' phone number?
Oh, well, you're from LA, so you should.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. I mean, we're gonna meet meet up for a vegan lunch and like tomorrow, and then go on a hike and get stopped by paparazzi, and because that's what happens to everyone in LA. Stop it.
You guys are gonna go get poke bowls and whatever.
Hey, don't talk to. I love poke. I love it. I was introduced to poke in Hawaii. I was introduced to it in Hawaii, where it's certainly better in Hawaii than it is in LA. But poke is delicious.
I can't do anything with fish ever.
You don't do sushi?
Oh my God. Yuck. Gross.
I thought I liked you, and now this.
You do like me.
It's fading. It's fading now if you're so disgusted about sushi.
I don't think it is. I actually think that this tension between us is making you like me even more. I that's what I think.
Why? Because we're acting like a married couple arguing about where we can get dinner?
Yeah. 100%. That's the natural, opposites attract here, Josh. It's the natural magnetic pull that just listen, it's not me. It's just nature. I don't know what you want me to say. It's nature. But thanks for hanging out with us. This is Mike and Josh here exclusively on the Grid Network. And as we say goodbye, of course, we play the drop.
You are listening to Mike Guido and Josh Tariff. Buckle up!
Make sure you blast this from your car as you pull up to your local sushi spot and enjoy some good fresh rolls.
Don't do it to yourself.
Mike and Josh.
Every Tuesday, 11 o'clock Eastern,
Mike and Josh.
We will be here.
All right, I'm going to get some sushi for breakfast now.
Yeah.
That's what's happening right now.
That's very Cali of you. Very Cali of you. All right, we'll see you next week.